For decades, there's been this question that just kind of hangs in the air in geopolitics. Could Japan, if it really wanted to, build a nuclear weapon? It's a topic that's loaded with speculation, but what if the question itself is the problem? Let's get into it.
Right, this is always the starting point, isn't it? Can they do it? But here's the thing, when we focus only on the can, we miss the much, much bigger story. Today, we're going to dig into why the real answer has almost nothing to do with technology at all.
I mean, think about it. Answering a simple yes or no keeps us stuck talking about blueprints and materials. But the real roadblocks, they aren't in some lab or factory. They're way deeper than that. Honestly, focusing on the tech is just a distraction from what's really going on here.
So to really get to the bottom of this, we're going to use a three-tier analysis from our source material. We'll start with the tech specs, because you have to. Then we'll zoom out and look at the national systems that are needed. And finally, we're going to hit the most important layer of all, the national will.
Okay, let's start where these debates always do, with the hardware.
Let's just say Japan woke up tomorrow and the government decided, we're doing this. What are the actual, real-world technical problems they'd immediately run into?
Well, it's really easy to just assume a high-tech country like Japan has all the pieces ready to go, but the details tell a very different story. For starters, their amazing rockets can't just be turned into ballistic missiles. Why? Because they don't have the data to build a re-entry vehicle that can survive hitting the atmosphere at over Mach 20. And their civilian nuclear reactors? Totally different from the quiet, super responsive ones you'd need for a stealthy submarine. And maybe most importantly, the plutonium they have on hand? It's reactor grade, which is just not the right stuff for building reliable, effective weapons. But here's the key takeaway for this whole tier. At the end of the day, these are all just engineering problems. Now, they're massive engineering problems for sure, but with enough time, enough money, and a whole lot of national focus, they're solvable. The real impossibility isn't found here. So, if the technical hurdles can, in theory, be overcome, what's the bigger problem? Well, that brings us to Tier 2. We're zooming out from the weapon itself to look at the entire national foundation you need to create and sustain it. We're talking about the system. So what's the real difference between specs and a system? It's actually pretty simple. Specs are like having a world-class engine sitting on a pallet. A system, on the other hand, is having the car, the factory that builds the car, all the roads, and all the mechanics who know how to fix it. One is just a single part, the other is the whole ecosystem that makes it actually work. This slide absolutely nails the concept with a great analogy, the American M1 Abrams tank. Is it the best tank in the world on every single performance metric? Not always. But its incredible power comes from the massive system behind it. The logistics, the training, the maintenance, the support. You see, a strong system makes good tech great. But without that system, even the most advanced technology is really just a useless prototype. And when you look at Japan through that lens, you realize that system just isn't there. I mean, where would they even test a nuclear weapon or a long-range missile without causing a massive global crisis? Their own core laws, like the Atomic Energy Basic Law and international treaties they've signed, flat out forbid it. Their entire nuclear industry, every scientist, every engineer, every facility, it's all built for one thing: peaceful civilian power, not for war. And this is so crucial. This missing system isn't some oversight. It's a choice. It's the direct result of a post-war strategy that has always relied on the U.S. nuclear umbrella for its ultimate security. Why would you build your own incredibly expensive and complex system when you've effectively outsourced the job? It was never built because it was never supposed to be needed. And that brings us to the final and really the deepest layer of this whole thing. Because to even begin building that system, to even think about solving those technical problems, a country needs one thing above everything else: the will to actually do it. So let's just rephrase our whole question. It's not, can they build the bomb? The real question is, what would Japan have to become as a nation to even start building the system that could eventually build the bomb? And when you actually look at the cost, my gosh, it's staggering. It means completely dismantling the core identity of Japan as a peace nation. It means giving up the incredible moral authority that comes with being the only atomic-bombed nation. It means knowingly inviting international fury, sanctions, and total isolation. It means tearing up its own laws and triggering political turmoil at home that's almost impossible to imagine. So, let's try this all together. Why do we always get so stuck talking about re-entry vehicles and plutonium grades? Well, the source material for this explainer gives this phenomenon a really fascinating name: It's called the lie of comfort. See, it is so much easier, so much more comfortable to say, oh, we can't do it for technical reasons, than it is to face the terrifyingly painful choice of completely changing what your country is, what it stands for, and its entire place in the world. The technical argument becomes a shield to hide behind. Which brings us right back to where we started. Back to that simple and, as we now know, very misleading question. After all this, is it technically impossible? No, it's not. Given enough time, a blank check, and a complete unified national commitment, the engineering problems could probably be solved. The real impossibility is somewhere else entirely.
The real answer is that it's existentially impossible. It's impossible because the Japan that would have to exist to build a nuclear weapon is simply not the Japan that exists today. It would have to become a completely different country.
So you see how it all connects, right? Because there is no will to fundamentally change the nation's identity, the system required to support a weapons program can't be built. And because that system doesn't exist, the technical gaps can't be closed. The will is the first and the highest barrier. And that kind of leaves us with a thought that goes way beyond just this one case. A nation isn't just defined by what it can do, but by the choices it makes. And maybe, just maybe, the weapons a country chooses not to build tell us more about its soul than the ones it does.